Welcome back to the Jojitorium. Well, I think remember too, whenever we found the German Scheiser porn. Let's not lie to each other. You're in twerk classes over there. That's what
yeah. That's all it is.
The fitness class.
Working on them TikTok videos you like so much.
Dead face. Got right in front of you. Welcome back to the Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam. It's Matt. We're decaying with the boys, and we are still suspended while a third-party investigator decides if it was Adam or Matt that bit Kenny Omega.
It was me.
Spooky season is right around the corner, but so is Three Rivers Beer Week. Kicking off on October 1st, 2022, the first pour with partner city, Cleveland, Ohio, Three Rivers Beer Week is dedicated to the vast history of beer in the Burgh. From the 40-plus breweries to the brewers, behind-the-scenes workers, and the endless number of supporters, this event brings the best of the beer scene to you. Thanks to the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild and such titans of suds like the East End, Grist House, Dancing Gnome, Hitchhiker, Intergroove, Hop Farm, and so many more are scheduled to take over the Burgh for brewery anniversaries, beer and food pairings, and even yoga from October 2nd through October 9th. Not sure what events to get tickets for, but still want to check out the breweries? Go to threeriversbrewweek.com and select Pittsburgh breweries. From there, you can see over 40 different breweries to carve out your own trail, or select a pre-made route to sample some of the best in the Burgh. To get all your tickets, event info, brewery lists, and how to contact the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild, and so much more, go to threeriversbeerweek.com, but just make sure you tell them that the boys sent you. Welcome back. We are not at the Jojitorium, but we are on location at beautiful Intergroove Beer Garden in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And we aren't alone. We have Mike from Dancing Gnome, and we have Jen from Intergroove Brewing. When you guys are separate, you're extremely skilled brewers. But when you come together, you form a major piece of the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. And we are here to talk about all things Three Rivers Beer Week and Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. But first, we have to get down to some business. So, Jen, since we are in your house, you brought some delicious beers. Put all that together, call it Round One Beers. What are we drinking?
We are drinking Dortmunder, our delicious golden German lager. Coming in at like 4.3% ABV, I think. Nice, clean.
Yep.
Yummy.
Nice and clear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely on a clear beer kick, but this is one of my favorites. This is probably one of our first lagers. So I am appreciating it for sure.
Yeah, what a great nice little malty, a little bit of biscuitiness.
Yeah.
Really good. And I'm on a clear beer kick too. I'm a stout guy, clearly. But I do like to go to Pilsners and lagers when I can. And I think we're about to dive into lagers and whatnot.
Yeah, we got the equipment. We're going to be lagering soon.
We're going to dive into lagers. So, but this is incredible. This is a great lager here. I would drink so many of these, honestly.
Yeah, I think just a great example of a German lager for sure. It just brings back nostalgia to some mass-produced German lagers, but with that local freshness that you don't get from a massively produced beer.
That craft beer level.
I agree. It's got that nice color as well. It's like that deep kind of gold and nice crisp clear finish, and could, like you said, just keep sending them.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep sending them.
And it's just in time for Oktoberfest, too, which I know all of Pittsburgh is in just a complete buzz for, which they should be, because it's Polish as shit over here. So. So we are going to get pretty deep into the Pittsburgh Three Rivers Beer Week. But first, before we do any of that, we have to get to know our guests. I want to know more about you, how you got to where you are. So we rochambeaued before you guys started, and Jen, you get to go first. So can you tell everyone where they can find your two locations and all your tap listings and everything else?
Yeah, so you can find anything you need to know about Intergroove Brewing on intergroovebrewing.com, or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, tiny bit of Twitter, but not all that much. But so our brewery and tap room, our original location is in Verona, PA. And then we opened our second tap room in May of this year in Allentown, Pittsburgh, right next to Mount Washington, not Allentown, PA. So yeah, we're going on maybe about 4 months here, and it's going good. Nice beer garden outside, which is a nicer outdoor space than in Verona. So so nice. We have a parking lot here. It's not all street parking. So yeah, we're having fun with it for sure.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful space, too. It's my first time here. Very inviting. I love all the art. And, of course, the music infusion to everything is incredible.
Thank you.
Selfies, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
We do have a selfie. Yeah, we have a selfie wall. You can get your groovy pics.
I'm definitely going to get one. We got to get one when we're done.
Yeah.
We definitely have to get a groovy pic.
Mandatory now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you acknowledge it, you have to engage with it.
Right?
Yeah.
I forgot it's there. Yeah, it's nice and clean and pretty and new in here. Verona's great, but, it's 3 years old now, so it feels a little older.
It's time to put that one in kindergarten and start getting this one going.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
Yeah.
you're coming from a staple of Pittsburgh craft brewing, Dancing Gnome. Can you tell everybody where to find you, your tap list, and everything else?
Sure. And so I do some work with Dancing Gnome, which has been great. I was a regular from day one, and they brought me on the team within the first year. And Dancing Gnome is located at 1025 Main Street in Sharpsburg. The original location was 925 Main Street in Sharpsburg, so you can roll up to either, although 925 will be closed, so you'll have to walk to 1025, but it's only 100 steps down the street. And, it's interesting. We talked about lagers with the Dortmunder that we're drinking now. Dancing Gnome, originally known as a little bit more of a haze shop, if you will. Hazy IPAs, Lustra's the flagship, and people love it. But more recently, I'd say in the last couple of years, Andrew Witchy, the owner, has been focused more on lagers and doing more. We've done alt beers. We have an Oktoberfest out now. We have a Fest beer out now, and we've got a Pilsner out now. So the lagers are still a focus of the brewery, and it's great. The staff loves them, and folks who come in and try them love them. So it's a little bit of the old, or a little bit of new school, a little bit of old school, I'd say.
Wonderful, yeah. And I can say, in my little neck of the woods, there's a mix and match craft beer shop, and I get to grab some lagers and Oktoberfest and whatnot from Dancing Gnome.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to mix that in with some other stuff I'm doing, because, like you said, I was used to always grabbing Lustra.
Yeah.
But it's clear you guys are more than Lustra.
Exactly.
There are more things going on.
Exactly.
Which is wonderful. So speaking of positive change and positive movement, you guys, like I had previously mentioned, are part of the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. So in a nutshell, can you tell me what the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild is? What's the purpose of coming together as a collective?
Want me to take a first shot at that, Jennifer?
Sure, Mike. You got it.
So the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild was established in 2017, so about 5 years ago, and the idea was, at that time, there were 28 to 30-ish breweries that were located in Allegheny County, and they said, we should have an independent, or we should have a voice for all of these independent breweries in Allegheny County, and also create some kind of entity that can help promote all of the breweries in Allegheny County. And so from that, we created a guide, the Pittsburgh Brewery Guide. And it's like a passport to Pittsburgh beer. And it basically rewarded people for visiting more breweries. So you go to breweries, you get a stamp. You go to breweries, you get a stamp. And the more breweries you visit, the more stamps you get, the more rewards you get. And so that was like the first element of it, is to promote the breweries.
Yes.
And then there was like a gathering and a reward for all of that, and people realized that, hey, there's a benefit to being part of something bigger. And we started to do more projects, such as front of house training. So, hey, how to pour a beer properly, how to serve a beer properly, how to know the flavor elements, how to talk about beer. And so we started to get into that. And now we're into even bigger projects such as workplace safety. And so we want to make sure that all of our breweries that are members, everybody feels good about going into those places and feels safe and feels like they can go in, have a beer, and feel like this is for them.
So you talk about a rising tide, and of course, when you're bringing in new influences, Jen, I'm sure you have some ideas of how that's transpired. So what's been your take so far on the Brewers Guild?
Yeah, so we opened Intergroove in 2019. So the Brewers Guild was 2 years in. I got voted onto the board that same year. So for us, though, it really was nice to have the guild there. We see a ton of people drawn into the brewery from the brewery guide books, but it's also nice that it has brought all the breweries together. So, and making Pittsburgh known as a Pittsburgh beer scene, right? So, it really is somewhere you can go for a beercation now. So, the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild, that is one of the goals as well, is to make sure that's getting known and out there, and we're really starting to see that and hear that.
That's wonderful, and it kind of goes back to something synonymous between you two. You're talking about using beer for good, positivity, inclusivity, making sure people know that they can come here no matter what to grab a beer. Intergroove, Dancing Gnome, and the multitude of other breweries I talked about in the promo drop for Pittsburgh Beer Week, which is huge. So how can somebody like me, not in the guild, how can I support the Brewers Guild, or how can I even possibly join the Brewers Guild?
Well, I would say you are supporting the Brewers Guild just by being involved in the Pittsburgh beer scene. And, we don't have at this time a general public membership. It's a conglomeration of the local breweries in Allegheny County. We now have 47 breweries in Allegheny County who are members of the Brewers Guild. And but in terms of the consumer awareness, like buy a guide, buy one of the passports, go out and visit the breweries. If you visit 10 breweries, you get a koozie. You visit 20 breweries, you get a glass. You visit 30 breweries, you get a insulated howler that's refillable. Oh, and wow. So it's one of those things where you get rewarded for the more breweries you visit. And it's interesting because once you hit 30 breweries, the guidance is you have to email the main email address and say, hey, where can I pick up my my prize? And when we get those emails, everybody says, I don't want to say but the most common response is, this has been great. It's been a journey. I've been able to visit more breweries than I even knew existed. I've been able to visit areas of the city and the region that I knew existed. And I've been able to try beers that I didn't know were out there, and people are happy about that. Like it's really cool to hear the responses, because we can get we get into our routine as working at breweries. We get into our routine. It's just like about the next day, and then when you hear people saying, "This was so cool," like every weekend. My partner and I, we went out to 5 different breweries, and our goal was to get to 30. It's like, that's cool, to feel that was part of their routine. I mean, it was, it's a pretty cool.
That's really satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. To know that what we're doing meant something to somebody. Yeah.
I think the guides are great, and go get a guide if you don't have one. Yes. But the biggest thing right now is to get your ticket the first pour. That is 100% how you can support us right now in this moment, because that is our number one fundraiser. Yeah. That's how we're going to keep doing things like the guide, keep doing things like the front of house training, keep doing all the things that we have on our list to keep going and continue helping all the breweries in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The guide is incredible. Being on the other side of the bar, the other side of the beer, the consumer, every brewery I went into there for months, people were getting their stamps. And even if you're in Pittsburgh, a lot of people were like stuck in their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And this got people to travel out and try breweries they never had. It's incredible that all these people within one county even don't really travel much. They stick to like the 3 near their house, and that's it. So it got people out, and I will be at First Pour. I'm going to put the pressure on Matt to also go to First Pour.
First Pour is going to be a great time. I think everyone should go.
Me and Lori will be there for sure.
Well, that's a great segue into how you can see over 30 breweries in 1 week, and that's the Pittsburgh Three Rivers Beer Week. And you talked about the first event, which is the collaboration between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. There's over like a dozen collaboration beers, and there's eight.
Yeah,
wow. Okay. I'm shooting for the moon. It's going to be like 12 after I get done with them.
12. I gotcha. There's a lot.
That website had them listed. I was like, holy crap, there's so many of those things. But I got to dive a little bit into Three Rivers Beer Week. How long has this event been going on? And what was the original intent for the event?
So this is year number 2 for Three Rivers Beer Week. Since the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild kind of rebranded Pittsburgh Beer Week, wanted to do something different than what Pittsburgh Beer Week had become in years past. Wanted it to be more brewery focused, have breweries do feature events. So we're on year 2. Year 1, if you made it out to brewery events last year and made it to the kickoff event, was really a blast. Like, we tried to get to as many of them as we can, and we were texting each other asking where are you going next. It was really fun to go around and see everybody out supporting all the breweries. So there's even more events this year. You can see all the events on threeriversbeerweek.com, like you said in the intro. But it's really I'm excited for this year. It's going to be even more fun than last year.
Absolutely. And I got to ask this question too, because there are a ton of events. There's something for everybody during this week. How do you all come as a collective together to form a consensus on what events will be offered?
Well, it's interesting because we just kind of leave it up to each individual brewery and say, like, what fits you? What fits your brand? What fits what you want to do? But I think generally speaking, the idea is there's like a friendly competition where it's like, who's going to have the coolest event?
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, I think about Allegheny City. They're doing a German car show in the parking lot right beside Allegheny City. It's like, well, and who else is doing that?
Right.
You know, Hop Farm last year, they did a disco night on Friday night during Beer Week, and everybody was raving about it. It's like you didn't want to miss being at Hop Farm for that disco. And so things will evolve and things will take place where it's like, the breweries just want to like silently compete with each other to say, I want our place to be the place to be.
That's cool.
And so but it's, in the end, it's great for Pittsburgh. It's great for Pittsburgh beer.
Absolutely. And you talked about a couple of things that have happened before and might happen this year. What are some of the highlights that you want to give someone like a teaser? Like, if they haven't gone to the website yet, they hear this. What's like one thing that you both want to see someone get involved with?
The First Pour.
The First Pour. Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Well, I would say First Pour for sure, because we want people to come out and try all 8 of those collaborations with Cleveland breweries, and at some point we can list all of those collaborations.
Yeah.
But the one, and it was an event last year during Beer Week that I really loved. It's at Cinderland's Cinderfest.
Yeah.
And they did a stein holding competition where you had to hold a stein of beer out, at an arm's length, hold it as long as you could, and I think the winner was like 3 minutes long or something.
That's insane.
And Paul Snyder, the head brewer at Cinderland's, did a phenomenal job. He was like the Joe Buck of Steinfest Holding. He was like just crushing it. It's like, holy, look at this guy, look at this person, look at So it was a lot of fun. But so that's one that I would definitely recommend.
That will be October 6th.
October, my birthday.
Cinderfest.
Yeah. It's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy early
Mike
birthday.
has a Three Rivers Beer Week birthday.
That's
everyone.
wonderful.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
And
Mike and
Adam
Adam
Sorma.
Sorma.
Adam
Yep.
Sorma. We can't forget that. Yeah.
But-
So we talk about the breweries, right? But there's also food and other people that come into play here. How do you go about choosing the other vendors that you're going to bring into this event?
Well, we definitely want a mix of different. So for First Pour in particular, we have Streets on the Fly, which they do a great job with Philly cheesesteaks and Cubanos and wings. And then we also have Mindy's Take and Bake, which they have a location in Sharpsburg, and Mindy does great sweets like chocolate chip cookies, like the best chocolate chip cookies you can have, and they also do small snacks and whatnot. And so we want that mix of different kind of foods. And then I think in the events, and I haven't looked at them closely, but in the events, you're just going to see a range of different food options that you can find.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything I'm missing on that front.
No, I think like the events go back to all the breweries doing their own whatever they decide works for them. So you'll see some food and beer pairings. We're doing a fruit your own beer event.
Oh, no way.
And we're making it groovy themed. So
Nice.
Austin Powers, there will be a face painter in Verona doing body art. So it'll be groovy over there with our tie-dye shirts, which we just did.
I saw
this
those.
week. Yeah, it was really fun.
That was yesterday, right? Well,
It was
from when we're recording,
Tuesday.
it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Adam, can you and I go over there and get full body paint?
I really think you should.
I don't know about full body. Maybe a little
like
bit.
the upper torso.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
is there anything to paint? Yeah, you folks are tatted up.
What's the date for?
October 5th, so it's Wednesday.
Oh, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm coming. I'll be there. So how did you guys go about getting an entire city of brewers in Cleveland, Ohio to collab with Pittsburgh? Because there is an inherent rivalry, not just with the breweries, but like with athletics and just state rivalry itself. So how did you guys, I'm sure it's very slyly, coerce them to come over and brew beer with us?
So the whole sister city approach is something that we wanted to add to Three Rivers Beer Week, and to collaborate with a city that is within driving distance, so that we can get people into town to the breweries in the doors, but also be able to go to those locations as well. So Asheville was last year, and we did a collaboration with the Asheville Brewers Association. So that was really great. And then this year it's with Cleveland, and Mike kind of set all that up, so you can talk about how that came to be.
Yeah, well, like Jen said, we. So I guess there's a sequence of there's a romanticism about collaborations within the brewing industry, and part of that romanticism is because there's an idea, and it's valid, that breweries like to lift each other up.
Yes.
And so when you work together, you can create something, the greater than the sum of its parts kind of thing. And so the original incarnation of Pittsburgh Craft Beer Week, the collaborations were one of the hits. They were one of the big things, and people look forward to them. And so we thought, like, what if we kind of raise that to a next level, and we don't make it just a brewery-to-brewery collaboration, we make it a region-to-region collaboration. And so last year, like Jen said, we collaborated with Asheville, and we just did one beer. And so this year was, all right, what if we change it up and we do multiple beers, and we do it with somebody maybe a little closer to home, like Cleveland, and maybe we can attract folks from Cleveland to come down and visit Pittsburgh for Three Rivers Beer Week. And so we reached out to the folks who organized Cleveland Beer Week, and they were like, yeah, heck yeah, let's do this. And so they came up with a list of breweries. We came up with a list of breweries based on folks who were interested, and then it was just like a matchmaking. And so we've got Brew Gentleman with Noble Beast. We've got Hop Farm with Fatheads. We've got Grist House with Masthead. And then several others.
Shout out to friends of the podcast, Arshay Brewing. They're
Arshay, exactly, yeah. Spoonwood and Arshay, yeah.
And we did this year, we tried to, and last year, there were people asking for more collaborations. So we're listening to people's feedback and what they want for Three Rivers Beer Week as well. So that was one of the reasons we wanted to do more than just one all brewery collaboration. But we also looked at, we also tried to do a brewery per trail so that to get people out into all the different breweries, not just a couple of them, right? So you'll be able to find those collaborations throughout the city. And when I talk about trails, there's 7 pre-made brewery trails in Pittsburgh. You can find them on pittsburghbreweries.com. It's what we use for the brewery guide. So we tried to tailor things around that and make it more, city focused and trail focused, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, a good beer collaboration's like seeing your 2 favorite bands on tour together. Or like your 2 favorite actors in a movie. Like, just elevates everything.
It's so cool. Yeah.
And I do like a lot of, forget about the football rivalry. I do like a lot of Cleveland breweries. So it's nice.
Adam ventured out that way one time and brought back a cavalcade of beers for us to try.
Going again in like 2 months.
Arshay, we're coming for you. So we talked about some parts of the evolution. Where do you two see this festival going? This whole entire glorious week of craft beer. What's a dream idea? Where do you want to see it end up?
After everybody supports the first pour, so they have
Thank you very much.
a bankroll to do these dreams.
Exactly.
And that is
That was my
necessary for
answer.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think we would love to see all 47, 48 now, maybe 47 breweries participate. Last year we had in the 20 range, I believe.
I think it hit 30.
Oh,
so let's just say it hit 30.
Nice. It was in the 30 range. So if we get all 47, almost 50, because we know there are more coming.
Oh, yeah.
If we get 50 breweries if we get every brewery to participate in the city, it's going to be one hell of a fun week.
I agree with that. That'd be
and I think it'll draw a ton of people into town.
Yeah, and kind of the way I was envisioning this evolving is there used to be a miniature golf tournament down in Southside, and it was all of the bars and restaurants in Southside, and they would have like a miniature golf hole set up in their space. And each year it just got better and better where everybody, all of those places in a friendly competition just wanted to outdo each other. And that's kind of where I think this could go. It's like, because the friendship and the collaboration amongst the local breweries is impressive bar none. Like it's over the top. It's incredible. And so, but there's also that friendly competition.
Of course.
And so if we can get everybody to say, oh, damn, they did this last year, we need to one-up them and do this this year. So if we can keep that going with that friendly competition, it just benefits it's fun. It gets the consumer in. It highlights the scene that we have here, and that's what we're really trying to create.
Awesome.
I am personally waiting for, though, the brewery sporting event that we keep talking about, where you can come watch all the breweries compete against each other, because that would be fun.
Oh, that'd be so good.
So
I'd pay to watch that.
So I'm going to call out at Jagoff Brewer, Andy K. We're going to call out at Jagoff Brewer, Andy K. For 2 things. One, he is creating the playlist for First Pour. So
Oh, wow.
you come the first pour, and Andy K is a big Grateful Dead Fish fan.
Yeah. I
I was
but
just going to say, there might be a little jam band
no.
on there.
He has said
People are
it is going to
worried
be
it's gonna be-
balanced. He's going to have something for
He's
everybody.
lying.
No. He's going to have something for everybody.
faith in him.
He's going to have something for everybody. But he also had an idea for his event at Hitchhiker. They're going to do a Brewers fashion show.
Oh, sick.
And
He hasn't posted
he
that yet,
hasn't
Mike.
posted
You
it
might
yet,
be
so
like,
yeah,
Oh,
we're
like
releasing it
spilling
now.
the bag here, yeah.
We're dropping
We're
news
dropping
now.
news now. We're putting the pressure on Andy K. They're going to do a Brewers fashion show, and it's going to be Brewers and anybody who wants to dress like a Brewer.
Adam?
I only dress like one, that's for sure. I definitely got to keep my calendar open for the week because I
See,
got
but
to
that
Yeah.
makes me want to call out Hello Brutiful, Jen
There you go.
Brillmeyer's
There it is.
Instagram account when she did the different.
Oh, yeah. I felt
What
attacked.
was it? It was like
the different
guys.
yeah,
brew
look
guys.
at the
yeah.
brew.
Oh my Lord!
It was
yeah.
different brewers. I think I
it's
should.
maybe my favorite TikTok
It
I've
is.
ever seen.
I got
So
hurt
good.
so many times.
I thought it was dead on accurate. I was like,
It
yeah,
really
that's
was.
me.
It was fantastic.
I kept going like, that's me, that's me, that's me. Stop being in my head. Stop doing that. But it sounds like combat.
Yeah.
And you know what
That would
else
be
is
fun,
combat
right?
focused?
Oh, I
We
knew
are.
This is coming.
Uh-oh.
We are a combat sports podcast. If you listen to us, you should know that. But if you
I
don't,
don't
listen
even know
to
what
us,
that means.
we're about to find out. So before we go into a break, we'd like to toss out a lightning round to our guests to see if you guys are, in fact, down low combat sports fans. These questions are just something that Adam and I come up with, and we'll go back and forth till we run out of questions. You run out of brain cells. Adam will go first, I'll go second, so on and so forth, and then we'll head into a break. How's that sound to you guys?
Sounds all right.
Terrifying. But yeah. All right.
And these are the first answers that come to your brain.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and think about
It's like
them.
a Rorschach test.
Just get it. All right, Adam, go.
Have you ever hit anybody with a steel folding chair?
No.
No.
Have you ever stone colded 2 beers or any other beverage for that matter?
No.
No. This is gonna be easy.
Yeah,
If someone were to say "woo" to you, how many fingers would you hold up?
Middle.
I'd do a fist.
You took my question.
I'm sorry.
How many minutes could you last in a discussion about jujitsu?
We're done right now.
Ditto.
That's the best answer ever.
That's a good one.
Have you ever attended a watch party for a combat event like UFC, WWE, anything like that?
No.
Is WWE
Like pro
the-
wrestling.
Yeah, I think I've gone to one of those.
That's right. There we go.
so
Here
you're
we
the
go.
one,
Here
you're the
comes the
one.
downslide.
I don't even know where I go sometimes, though.
I got a fill in the blank from MMA fighter Derek Lewis. He was interviewed once and he said, "My blank was hot." What is the blank?
No, my mind goes in too many different places.
You might be right there.
You might be on point.
Nose.
Nope.
You're so cute.
I'm not going there. I don't know if this is an
Say
R-rated
it.
thing or not. Yeah.
You know it.
His bum.
Very close. She wins. She's hotter.
Well,
I'm PG. There was a
the-
child in here earlier.
The Beast was known to say, my balls was hot. To test, to the best of your knowledge, Jake Paul is a blank.
Fighter,
actor.
based on the conversation.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Using context clues. Not too bad, not too far.
Safe answer. Like, stay away.
Mike Tyson is now in his 50s.
Don't
Do you
get
think-
canceled.
Mike Tyson is now in his 50s. Do you think he's still hungry for ears?
100%. I think
Hungry
about
for
it a
what?
little bit.
Ears.
I think about it a little bit. I think he definitely is.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, he was phenomenal in The Hangover, so that's all I could say. Yeah.
He eats the mushrooms, he'll eat an ear. Do you cheer on fighting in hockey?
I'm a lover, not a fighter. No.
I can see that.
I would go with that. I'm a Penguin season ticket holder. I love hockey. The fights, from time to time, can get you going. That's all I'd say.
Okay.
Oh, look at Mike.
There you go.
Look, there he goes.
Yeah.
If you won a championship belt in an MMA fight, how would you wear the belt when you talk to reporters?
Can I make it into a fanny pack?
You sure
Do
can.
whatever you
Hold
want.
my beer.
Gosh, you and lawyers so much the same.
I honestly can't even imagine any of those scenarios.
What if you win one for the beer? Dancing Gnome wins a belt.
Oh,
and you have to pose for the newspaper.
Yeah.
Is it going over the shoulder, around the waist?
Dancing.
No, it would be across the whole team because it's a team thing.
He's sharing
Oh,
us.
you go,
What a team
Mikey.
player.
Mike's all wholesome about teams.
Hey, Matt, you know who else is a team player?
Our sponsors. And when you support our sponsors, you support us. And when you support us, bring some pretty cool things, like talking to Pittsburgh Brewers Guild members in the Inner Groove Beer Garden space, and hopefully at some point at Dancing Gnome as well. So we'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back to the Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam. It's Matt. And as you can see, we are all tatted up. So, Adam, I have to ask you, buddy, what's the number one rule about having tattoos?
Aftercare, Matt.
That's right, aftercare. And what's the number one company for aftercare?
I only use Lucky 13s.
I only use Lucky 13s as well. So, and all of our fans can too. So if you go to lucky13s.com and use our promo code MATA193529, you can save 25% on your entire order because
From the first line of your tattoo and beyond, Lucky 13s keeps you looking fresh.
I'm Dan,
I'm Lou, and together we are Casting Views.
an uncle and nephew chatting on random topics, some heavy, some fun, but we aim to amuse.
Don't miss out, don't delay. Subscribe to Casting Views today.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and Good Pods.
This is J&K from the Fuck My Work Life podcast.
And you're listening to Decaying with the Boys with Matt and Adam.
Welcome back. Hopefully you heard something you like. Because again, when you support our sponsors, you support us. And when you support us, it brings some pretty cool stuff. Like talking to the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild in Inner Groove with Mike from Dancing Gnome and Jen from Inner Groove. So we are in round two, and we are in the dojo of Inner Groove. Jen, you brought another delicious beer for us. Put that all together. Round two beers. What we drinking?
We are drinking Capture Color, Hazy IPA, my two favorite hops, Citra Mosaic, 7.5 ABV, hazy, juicy, yummy. I think so anyway.
Just like if someone told me like, hey, do you want to grab like a staple hazy?
Yeah.
This is it. It's just light enough on the palate where I feel like I can drink more of them. Like you're saying it's over 7. You're going to trick me into taking my shirt off because I'm going to drink so many of these things.
It's going to get different in here in a little bit, huh?
Real different in here. It's so good. Yeah, the Citra really shines bright on that. It's nice and juicy, and the dankiness is right on point. This is really delicious, Jen.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a great hop pairing always, and this is super fresh. Like you said, stealing what you said again, it's very bright, very citrusy on the back end. It's great.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I'm a Cicerone.
I'm almost not even needed anymore.
If you get depressed now before we get into the last bit of this, I can't save you.
I'll wait till we get to the social medias.
So I am surrounded with some of the best brains in brewing in the Berg, and I need to bring some things.
Wait, what? Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So the one thing I like to do a lot is I read and I research. I try to find things I want to pick your brains about. And now that I have this collective here, I have some things that I feel like are relevant and I really want to talk about because I need to see how you guys are all focusing forward on these ideas. So to give credit where credit's due, the Growler Mag, it's Craft Beer Represent, the importance of increasing diversity in the brewing industry. And this is from Luis Livingston Garcia. It's no secret that craft beer projects and promotes the concept of community in craft beer. However, we have collectively, at times, seen instances of inequality in the taproom and brew space. The Growler was able to obtain numbers from a self-report survey where only 7.5% of brewers employed were women. Additionally, only 37% of employees in staff roles that are non-production or non-service were women, which is taproom managers. And then the women made up 54% of service staff. Subsequently, 88% of brewery owners responding were white, with Native American and Alaskan Native owners clocking in at 4%, Asian Hispanic at 2%, and black owners at just 1%. While these numbers were acquired in 2019 and 2022, they still stand in relevancy today. So I pose these questions to you. 1, how important is it to see diversity and inclusion in the brew space? And whoever wants to open it up and get the conversation started, by all means, go ahead.
I think it's extremely important. I think we all, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but all the brewery owners that I know closely want everybody to feel comfortable and welcome in their tap rooms and in their spaces and part of their staff. So I think it's extremely important, and we have a lot of work to do, but I think we're making steps in getting there.
Great.
And I would say from I guess there's two elements from my perspective. From a human element, it's like, yeah, everybody should feel welcome coming into a space and being accepted and having a beer, being able to, sit down and not be viewed or judged. Everybody, and feel comfortable with that. And also from a business perspective, come on, like we want everybody to enjoy craft beer, and you can't do that if people feel shut off, and so people shouldn't feel shut off. So from the personal perspective, they shouldn't feel shut off. From a business perspective, it makes sense to have everybody feel more welcome. So that's kind of the way I think of it. And to Jen's point, we're trying to do more things. From the Brewers Guild, like what we've done is we've had a number of different programs recently. Most importantly, the Safe Workspace training that we had with, I think there were more than 20 different breweries that took part in it in collaboration with Pittsburgh Action Against Rape. So PAR helped us create this program where it's like, hey, here are the things that you should look for to create a safe space for people who come into your location. And, and we're working, we had a subcommittee now that is working on a code of conduct that says, hey, we are all in this together, and we all want to make sure that people feel comfortable, people of all different backgrounds feel comfortable coming into any different brewery. And so we're working on that now. But to Jen's point, it's step by step. There's never going to be perfection,
right,
but we can always work towards it, and that's what we're trying to do.
Adam?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a tap room, but I think just from an outside perspective, Pittsburgh is doing a wonderful job at being more and more inclusive, especially compared to other cities I've been to. And you see it responded to by the public. The breweries that are more open and more accepting, because I don't think anybody's in Allegheny County and Pittsburgh's trying to exclude anybody.
No.
But those breweries that kind of advertise it and make people feel welcome through social media or whatever, you see them being the more popular spaces, being the profitable breweries, being a place for people to go. Because the more people you have, the more people feel like they're, hey, maybe I'm missing out on something. Oh, I got to check this out. And it all benefits everybody in craft beer to just be inclusive. And I do pride Pittsburgh on being on the forefront as probably about as much as like a place like Asheville is. Asheville's very progressive and very on the forefront, and not a blue collar place like Pittsburgh is. For Pittsburgh having the background it has to be this progressive, I think is huge.
And I think it kind of boils down to, as a consumer on this side, like you guys all have your hands in the grains, and I'm more or less grabbing the cans and the the pours. I see, Barrel and Flow is huge. The North Hills Homebrew Fest, the inclusivity on that, anyone can jump in. You have events all across the city for Three Rivers Beer Week.
Our Pink Boots chapters
Yeah.
are pretty large. Yeah.
I think a lot of what Pittsburgh is doing is showing people that craft beer is for everybody, and something that, and I believe, Mike, you and I were talking off mic for a second before we started, and you said we're not perfect, but we're not at ground zero.
Right.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff to do, but at least we're doing it.
As long as you're not taking steps backwards, you're going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you mentioning Barrel and Flow, because I think Dave Bracey in particular has done a lot to raise the profile of the Pittsburgh beer scene.
Yes.
For sure,
And he's done that by, it's like a lot of hard work. But, you think of Barrel and Flow, you go into that festival every year, and there are probably 10 to 15 to 20 collaborations between local breweries and either a black-owned brewery or a black artist, and that's what it's all about, getting that vibe where, hey, yeah, this is for us. This is for everybody. And I think traditionally, maybe people didn't think about it that way. And so now they are, and that's great.
Yeah. Craft beer's for everybody, right?
Yeah,
it should
absolutely.
Be 100%. And I think we all do a good job too about getting out there and trying to educate and do tastings and things like that to try to get more and more people that maybe wouldn't walk in your door, right, to know what craft beer is.
Right.
So,
well, and Jen and the team at Intergroove is doing that right here in Allentown.
Real,
we are in the middle of a community that probably traditionally wouldn't have been known for beer, and they set up shop here and engaging people who might not be familiar with craft beer, and this is great.
Absolutely. So moving on to another idea here, another concept that has come across the minds of brewers. From Deja Brew, the U.S. could face another beer shortage after the extinct Mississippi volcano contaminated the country's largest CO2 reserve.
Yeah.
This comes from the article I read from Daily Mail from Harriet Alexander. As stated in the title of the article, the United States is set to face another CO2 shortage after an old mine leaked raw gas into U.S.'s largest CO2 reserve, also known as the Jackson Dome. CO2 prices have already risen fourfold, according to Axios, coupled with a 20% increase in aluminum can prices, 30% hike in malt, and rising labor costs. And we are set to see rising costs. Are we going to see a rising cost in craft beer? First and foremost, how do local breweries combat these several shortages and increases that I just spoke about?
So none of us want to see any of this right now, right?
Correct.
Fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, for Intergroove, and we definitely took a look at what we could do on our production side to either capture the CO2 and reuse it or things like that, or, can we limit what we're doing in some spaces? But just I think any small business owner right now is looking at, expenses and where they're spending things. Ingredients are increased, everything's increased. So you just have to look at things overall as a small business owner and see what you can do.
Yeah, I think to build on Jen's point, it's you can control what you can control. So, we can't control the production of CO2, and there's CO2 is produced in the brewing process, so through fermentation, CO2 is produced. And if you're at the level that you can capture that CO2 and reuse it, then it makes sense for you. But there's a certain scale that needs to be acquired for that to really make sense, to invest in the equipment for that to really make sense. And so, when more breweries get to that level, they will capture that CO2, reuse it, and it won't be as much of an issue. But for a number of breweries, being able to just locate or resource CO2, if it becomes a bigger issue or a bigger expense, then they'll have to deal with that economically.
But thanks for making this somber.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, to pick it back up, events like Three Rivers Beer Week can bring in big numbers for breweries.
Yeah.
These events bring a lot of eyes and a lot of outside patrons to the city of Pittsburgh. Do you think that these events can rightfully combat the idea of inflated prices with, whenever you're having in-house sales versus distribution sales, you make more money off tap than you do off distribution. Yep. If you're bringing more eyes to your brewery, you can increase your sales. Do you think that big events like this can be a proper way to combat inflation and the issues with distribution?
Well, I would say it's not like Three Rivers Beer Week is not so much about combating inflation or really big picture items as much as it's just drawing attention to the scene that we collectively have created here. 47 breweries that are part of the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. We started 5 years ago with 28 or 30 breweries, and so it's just an opportunity to shine a light on this scene that has been created by individual business owners like Jen and like Andrew Witchy at Dancing Gnome and others. Just like we're shining a light on what they have helped to create, and hopefully through that, we draw some more business, we draw some more attraction.
Yeah.
Visit Pittsburgh, and I want to say that Visit Pittsburgh has been a great partner because they recognize that the craft beer scene that has been created here is an attraction, it's a draw, and so they want to leverage that to increase tourism, and we're all for that. So
we
it's
have
really
Pittsburgh beer in London. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
That's
But
pretty
yeah.
cool. That's amazing,
That's very
right?
cool.
Yeah. Adam?
Which question am I answering?
Any
Price
of
hikes? Cost is going up even for home brewers. I've seen a hike in, not so much malt, but definitely CO2. I just got 2 tanks filled this week. They were a little bit more expensive than I expected. And then yeast has gone up. Even, I can only imagine for a pro brew scale, just from a home brew scale, what I use, yeast has like doubled in price. But as far as like Three Rivers Craft Beer Week, I think the intention of it, like Mike said, is not to,
Of course.
combat any of this, but I think it helps because you're bringing eyes to the product.
Yeah.
You're bringing eyes to the city, eyes to different neighborhoods, different scenes of beer, and hopefully everybody benefits. I think the idea is everybody benefits, and even I kind of like the idea of the Three Rivers Craft Beer Week as opposed to a festival because you're traveling to the brewery, you're seeing the tap room space, you're seeing the brew space in a lot of examples, you're having fun with the front of house, maybe the back of house of these places, and you're trying the beer. So you're getting people out to these locations instead of just table hopping. There's nothing wrong with a festival. Festivals are important too, but I think to make Pittsburgh grow and make it a destination to get people out to these brew spaces is a really cool thing to do.
I really love that point, Adam, because when you look at the list of events that are happening, you can go do like beer trivia at Luciano's on Wednesday, and then do like a formal, not formal, but like a old school Oktoberfest on Thursday, and then a disco on Friday. So it's like this wide range of events that anybody, no matter what you're interested in, you're going to find something that will be cool to you. And it involves Pittsburgh, and it involves beer.
And it is about, and it definitely gets people in the door, right? And that's the other thing with the guide. It's bringing people in the door to experience the tap room and the experience that you can have in that tap room, because I think we all do have a different experience. There's 47 breweries now, so you can find a great beer in a lot of places now. But the experience is different, so that's nice. But it's bringing people in the door. I do have word that there's an East Pittsburgh brewery adventure as well. So
Self-promotion.
It's not, I'm promoting. I'm just one of 7 breweries in it, but you'll see other breweries, I think, trying to getting together and doing things like that as well. So you'll be able to go to each of the breweries on the East Pittsburgh Trail, and if you get a stamp, you get a free beer the next time you go back. Yep, that was a quick promo.
There you go. Boom. Well, the good thing here, too, is that I should say, even though it is a somber note to go on to, that the stats actually indicate that Pittsburgh continues to be a rising beer city. We're in the top 5 across the nation through multiple studies, and the beer sales actually have crept up and matched the inflation prices. So while you continue to make delicious beers for the Berg, customers still want them, and people from outside Pittsburgh still travel in here to get it. So while there are shortages, Pittsburgh shining through. Still a city in blue collar for a reason.
And here comes winter, which means I go out to tap rooms more. Even more.
You go out more in the winter?
Oh, yeah. I hate being cooped up at home.
If
there's a foot of snow on the ground, I get through my cans, but otherwise, no, I like going out in the winter.
And I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Pittsburgh Brewing Company, Iron City. They just relocated back into Allegheny County, and they have a great new facility out in Creighton. They've been super good about helping the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild and helping partner breweries with whatever they need. And so I think that's really cool to bring an old staple of Pittsburgh beer back into the fold.
I agree. Awesome. I agree.
Yeah, and they're
Welcome
embracing
back.
the brewing community as well. They're like, it's been great. They've had us there at least 2 times already.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures on Instagram. It looked like you guys are having a great
It
time.
was fun.
Yeah. You know what else saves local breweries, though, too? Science! OSU researchers.
I failed at science.
But you won't fail at this because
All right,
this is
cool.
breathing in to save you. OSU researchers brew more aromatic beer. This is coming from 1190 Kex Radio from Portland local by the way of Brad Ford. We talk about the doom and gloom in craft beer. However, the happy news is science continues to be awesome. So Oregon State professor Tom Shellhammer teamed up with Richard Molitor of Boston Beer Company and an Avenger-style team of scientists at Berkeley Yeast to genetically modify a brewer's yeast strain. This strain expresses an enzyme that increases the amount of 2 tropical flavor thiols that predominantly give off flavors of guava, passion fruit, mango, and pineapple. The best thing about this is brewers can use way less hops and get extremely potent flavors with no off-putting artificial characteristics. Less cost, big flavors, easier to grow, easier to distribute. It's fireproof. All the wildfires in the West aren't going to affect your product. Yep. And then all the distribution is distribution issues will also be negated because these things are readily available in multiple states, not just from the West or from the Deep South. Right. So, with this going on, do you believe that science will ultimately save beer? Bill Nye Science Guy will be really pissed at you if you say no.
I mean, I'm all about science.
Yeah.
There's so much science in beer.
There's a lot of science in beer.
Yeah, I would say I don't think science is going to save beer. I think beer is going to save beer because
people will save beer.
Yeah. People want beer. Like, it has been beer has been the most popular alcoholic beverage. I'm 3 beers in. So I'm going to say it's been the most popular alcoholic beverage for 500, 600, 700 years. And I don't think it's going to change. Sure, things evolve, whatever, but beer is, what do you think of whenever you're a kid and you see your parents like sipping on something, you're like, I want one of those. It's a beer. Yeah. And so science will help evolve beer as it has over time. Pasteurization, Louis Pasteur, like lagers wouldn't be available they wouldn't have the shelf life they have without Louis Pasteur. But it's just going to continue to evolve. And it doesn't save beer, it just extends beer, and it makes beer what it has always been.
Well, I think we're all about this cost-saving opportunities, right? Like we talked about it a little bit ago. So if we can get the same flavor profiles, the same, same notes and everything, then why not give it a try?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a really good point because, like, the idea of that yeast profile adding elements that hops typically do. Yeah. And so it's like, maybe we don't need to do a second dry hop. We can just do this yeast profile. Yeah. Yeah. So, absolutely can have an impact. Yeah.
Adam?
Yeah, I know Omega's doing a lot of thiolized yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can say thiol. I can't say
thiolized.
But basically engineered yeast to bring out more flavors through the yeast and just the ingredients you use, it pulls it out. And I think it's cool. I've had a couple homebrews with it. I have not used it yet. But they definitely were some of the best hazies I've had in homebrew, just from the North Hills competition. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to using it when I get some time in my schedule.
Get your hands on it. So the flavor profile that I described, quickly, what beer would you guys like to put that into?
I'm a hazy girl at heart. I mean, I said at the beginning of this I was into clean, but I always come back to hazy. Look, our second beer is a hazy. Yeah, I'm a liar. I'm a big liar.
Mike. No, I think, based on that profile, that's hazy all over it.
I mean, that profile of that yeast is basically
kind
mosaic.
of what we're drinking. Yeah. What
Which
we're drinking right now.
Beer. I mean, that would be in this beer. It might be in there. I don't know.
I think Jen snuck it in there and she's not telling us. She's going to
It
tell
is.
us all.
It's in there.
I
It's
knew
the
it.
First. It's the first ever.
I knew it. Pittsburgh's been great with science. Science.
And by the way, women will probably save beer.
Oh, boom.
Hey, they started. They
Yeah.
started it.
Yes,
right?
yes.
started
Go back to
There-
Goddess and Coffee.
There's a
right?
reason for the
Yeah.
term alewife.
Yeah, exactly. So we are done with all of the research. I mean,
Thank goodness you did the depressing one in the middle.
yeah, that's what I had to do.
That was a little stressful.
What I do throw near the end of the episode, though, is one of Adam's favorite segments. And
Questions
it's
from the internet.
questions
Oh,
from the
wow.
internet.
Questions from
Love
our
the
listeners.
internet.
So the internet can be a gloomy place. However, the internet that I go to is happy.
Good.
So we found some fun stuff to go over. So first and foremost, a question from my buddy Antonio Palacios from the Cultworthy podcast. He asked, if you guys are planning a beer brunch, no mimosas, what beer would you make and what type of food would you like to pair it with?
Okay, I'm completely going to steal something from this, but I am a brunch girl. I am a mimosa girl. I love them. Talk to Jem Brillmeyer from Hella Beautiful. We're doing a brunch tour thing, but I would definitely pull a high ABV Belgium and probably pour some orange juice in it. I know I'm going to get some hate from recreating Voodoo's Metmosa, but I do love it.
Okay. What would you pair it with? What kind of food would you
Oh,
pair
what
it with?
food? Something savory, sausage, biscuits.
Nice.
See, all right, she kind of stole my thunder there.
It makes you a little warm, the high ABV,
Yeah,
you
dude,
know.
I'm all
a
with it.
little-
I was thinking like because you're talking brunch, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking, particularly this time of year, a Meritzen with a nice crispy sausage and egg souffle. So you get that.
You so fancy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You don't come to Dancing Gnome for food. You come for an experience.
I mean, come on, you get that crispiness of that sausage and that like that seared edge, and it pairs well with the caramely notes of the Meritzen. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I mean,
I think
now
that's-
we're all
I
hungry.
think that's all of us, actually. Adam, what about you?
I'll flip a script a little bit and go with our thick boys here. I'm gonna pair it with something sweet. I'm gonna go
Nice.
like French toast, the pancake,
What beer
and
though?
a nice like coffee porter, coffee stout.
Okay.
Yeah, just crush it. And I probably stole your answer.
No, you didn't. Pabst Blue Ribbon and Eggo waffles, bitch.
That's right. You got 2 kids. You got money to
I
save.
got 2 kids. We're drinking Pabst and we're eating Eggo waffles.
Maybe a stuffed French toast and a coffee stout.
That
I
sounds
do
really
the
good.
coffee
Yeah.
stout. I could have went that way for
Yeah,
sure.
honestly, now I'm feeling guilty. Not guilty, but regretful.
Yeah.
We can put all of our ideas together, though, minus mine, and we can have a really nice event. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a Three
can
Rivers
wait.
Beer Week event.
We can wipe our feet on your Eggos.
That's fine.
I'll drink a PBR to cleanse the palate.
Absolutely. Second question. If you were trapped in the last movie you watched, where would you be?
Ooh.
I'd be in space. Well, last movie I watched was probably Nope. But actually, I wouldn't be there because as soon as I saw the damn spaceship, my Nope would have been to get the hell
Yeah.
out. Bye.
Gun.
Ooh.
I still have to see that.
I honestly can't remember the last movie I watched. That's probably sad. It's a sad statement about my life. I have watched the TV show Industry.
Okay.
And I would be in London
Okay, not bad.
Yeah,
What would you
yeah.
want to be doing in London then?
drinking a dark English mild.
Yeah. On tap next
Did that
week.
sound good?
On
Did
tap
that
next
sound
week in
good
the
enough?
Jojitorium.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's beefy
Yeah.
right there. What about you? You watched something so stupid, didn't
I
you?
watched something real messed up. I watched The Black Phone, so
Wow.
fucking basement.
I would be trapped in a soundproof basement with Ethan Hawke.
Not a bad place to be, depending on
Except he's trying to murder.
break you psychologically.
Yeah, just destroy my mind, which isn't too hard. It's on the fringe already.
I could have guessed that you watched something depraved.
Yeah, of course I did. That's all I watched.
Training Day to.
Is that a Netflix movie?
No,
Is
it
it
was
a
a
movie?
theatrical
I haven't
release.
seen
It's
Yeah.
on Peacock now.
Yeah, I think.
You watch
Yeah,
it?
that's where I watched it.
Well, you want to know how I'm going to team up with you then? I watched Terrifier again for the millionth
Oh, there you
time. So
go.
I'm going to be in a warehouse.
I was just going to ask, what is yours? Yeah.
Oh my god! I'd be in a warehouse in downtown New York waiting for a clown in grease face paint. Waiting.
Oh no.
Cut me from what was it, from South Pole to North Pole?
From crotch to crown.
From crotch to crown. I'd be getting from crotch to
No,
crown.
it was North Pole to South Pole.
North Pole, South Pole. That's it. Oh, it's third question. One item has to go forever. You never see it again. No one can ever have it, including you. Any kind of taco, your AM coffee or tea, or happy hour drinks.
There's no way in hell I'm getting rid of coffee or happy hour drinks, so bye-bye tacos for
Oh
me.
my
Sorry.
goodness.
Yep, nope.
I'm not sure I understood the question. So,
You pick the thing that is evaporated from existence forever. Tacos, AM coffee or tea, or happy hour
well,
drinks.
I've never had a coffee in my life, so coffee.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
there
easy
you
for
go.
you.
Yeah.
I keep trying to give him coffee beers.
You
He's
won't
like,
do
what'd
it.
you give me?
Yeah. I'll drink a
me
coffee beer, but
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee.
I
I've had a combined half a cup of coffee in my life, and shout out to Malcolm Frazier. He was like 1/4 of that.
You never worked at an airport then, did you?
No.
I did. That's where like the coffee addiction came from.
Oh, yeah, because you
All
have like
those
80 different stands.
college for me.
Well, I worked at a small airport, and all the pilots just made coffee day and night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, God bless them all.
yeah.
I
Adam?
never watched Star Wars, never drank coffee. I'm that guy.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, Star Wars. Me
No,
neither.
no.
No, not watching?
Never
or-
watched it.
No. Put your hands
How
down.
do you never watch it?
Never watched
though?
That's
one.
what I'm saying.
Like, I
Boom.
mean, it's
Never.
not.
Boom.
It's not
There
like
are-
I'm a
there are
Star
Saves
some
Wars.
me
of us-
so many hours.
Some of us out there, yes.
But if as a child, how did you like not have it on the TV?
Everybody's
with
wrong.
other
My dad
people?
watched crap television. I believe that's true. I mean, I believe that's the only way I avoided it.
Probably.
My dad didn't watch. Well, I mean, he watched them, I think, before I was born.
You didn't have
or
Star
without me.
Wars figurines. Like, what
Didn't-
did you play with?
Didn't buy into the hype.
Yeah, didn't buy into that. I was.
You shut your mouth, Mike.
I was a comic book kid. I liked comic books.
And you still didn't watch Star Wars?
Nope.
Hand in hand.
Can I answer this?
Yeah, go.
Nope.
Can we
Go.
move on? I'm not going to watch them tonight.
Go ahead.
I love tacos. I love coffee. So I need clarification. Happy hour drinks. Like,
What is that?
does that mean I just don't get the price discount?
What does that include?
No. Any happy hour beverages, like there's specialty drinks for happy hours, specialty beers that go on for happy hours, there are discount drinks for happy hour.
Yeah.
So anything that would have happy hour before that you think would be happy hour is gone forever.
So, like, I can't drink right after work.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm still. Oh, man. I'm probably still eliminating that. I'll just drink later and be worse at my job.
But if you start earlier, is there really a happy hour?
That's
If
true.
you
Or I could
start
just
at
start
noon-
work late. Yeah.
That makes it a happy hour.
If you start drinking at noon, it's not happy hour.
Nope.
It's happy for me.
I was just going to say it's just
Gonna-
happy.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
you're
have
just
a happy hour.
Yeah, I can't get rid of tacos or coffee, though. So, what? I mean, you're not getting rid of beer altogether, so I'll get rid of happy hour drinks.
I crack a hazy at
I
12
don't
noon.
really-
I'm like, I'm mowing the lawn.
I mean, like the happy hour like cocktails. I'm not into those anyway. They're too sweet.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing. They give you like the bottom.
I want an old fashioned
shelf,
or a beer.
I didn't really question. I just thought you meant alcohol.
But, I mean,
beer.
it's whatever.
Fan of
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're getting rid of alcohol, then tacos are gone.
That's
Which is really
that's
hard for
why
me to
I
say,
answered
yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah, but it's a good answer, though. I loved your answer.
But yeah, we'll go with alcohol, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna take away tacos as well.
you can't keep eliminating things.
It's my fault.
I just want coffee.
I'm digressing. The whole
I just want coffee and beer. Is
Was
there a
that
problem?
really a question from the internet?
It is a question from the internet.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He has weird friends.
People
Sorry,
are
am I allowed to say
sadistic.
shit?
You can say
Yes.
fuck, whatever you
Oh,
want.
okay, all right. I just said shit, so I guess I'll say fuck.
There you go.
Oh my God, you're all 12.
I'm 13. So, what's the last thing you forgot?
I
Weird
just-
question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the last thing you forgot?
If I knew what I forgot, I'd remember it.
Correct.
That's, yeah.
So it's almost like in the idea of like, oh, I forgot my keys, had to go back and get them.
yeah.
What's a scenario where the last thing you forgot, but you recovered?
So, all right, here's a little trick. Maybe this plays in a little bit to the question,
Yeah.
but here's a trick that I do.
Okay.
particularly when I've had a beer or two.
Or 3.
I will put my keys.
Oh.
If I want to remember to take a 4-pack of one of our beers to a friend's place, I will put my keys to my car on top of the 4-pack in the refrigerator. And that way I know that I can't forget that 4-pack, because in order to drive.
I love how slow he's saying it. Like no
it's
one else.
To cure the disease.
Because he might forget what he's about to talk about.
No, and it's true. It's all true. And I feel embarrassed saying it, so I'm kind of saying it's slow because.
Oh, just wait till you get to me, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So anyway, yes. Yeah. So that's not what I forgot, but it's why I try not to forget. If that.
Yeah, wait till we get to Mr. Left the Kid in the car here.
Just once.
All right, Jennifer.
Jennifer. Okay. I do the key thing too on the 4-pack. Yeah.
I've done that before too.
But you may have told me to do it. I don't remember who did. Yeah. Because who wants to forget beer?
Yeah.
Nobody.
I forget shit all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I walk around with an iPad that's a notebook. What have I forgot our last conversation already.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I forgot the question. There you go. I forgot the question.
Yeah.
Forgetful Freddy.
Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many to count. Yeah. Nothing that stands out. Sorry.
I feel like this was
I'm boring for this
I
conversation.
feel like this was targeted.
I feel like if I had to target somebody with this question.
Because I told you something in confidence.
Oh, nice.
Good.
So
Then we should go to Adam.
I forgot our concert tickets to the concert we went to in Philadelphia, which were very expensive and were also our first wedding anniversary gift. My gift to my wife. So I started driving home from Philadelphia back to Pittsburgh to get said tickets. As I was calling Ticketmaster to try to get them printed in Philly. Thankfully, I only got to Harrisburg, and then I got a hold of the Lori actually got a hold of Lincoln Field, and they printed them for us because we bought them on Ticketmaster.
I was just going to add, now.
So I only had a 4-hour round trip instead of an 8-hour round trip. But yeah, it's very clear the last thing I forgot because I hated myself.
Sometimes
How
your
long
friends
ago
tell
was
you
that?
stuff.
Yeah.
It was last month. But we bought the tickets 3 years ago, so it was I don't know. Everything I've bought in the last 3 years has been digital tickets.
I was
didn't
just
even
going
think
to
of
say,
it.
isn't everything on your phone now?
That was the one that
Google
was.
wallet, yeah. That's tough, man.
Oh, that is really tough.
But it all got taken care of.
When did you realize, though?
The night before the concert.
So
We
were
were
you
enjoying
already in Philly?
We drove all the way to Philly. We were enjoying our very first beer. And she's like, what time's the concert start? So I went to look up the tickets on the phone. And it gives you the time, and it says real big at the bottom, this is not your ticket. And I'm like, oh, no. So it was literally our first beer. We were just supposed to be decompressing. And I was what? Everything's wrong. Go!
So did you hop in the car that night?
No,
Sorry.
the next morning. I got up at 5 a.m.
Oh, nice.
Did she go with you?
No,
or she just
stayed there.
Yeah.
She stayed there.
Good
We
job,
brought our
Lori.
dog
Good
with us, so
job.
she stayed there with the dog. I was like, I'm going to start driving. You try to get a hold of somebody as soon as they open.
Yeah.
And just call me and tell me to come back if it works out. If not, I'll make it back by 5 o'clock. We can go to the concert. But no, it was good. I got back before lunch. We had some beers. It was a good day.
Yeah.
I was really tired, but it was a good day.
You have to have one because you raised the question.
Kids.
Absolutely. Well, no, I haven't left the kid in the car, Adam.
At home.
Oh, at home. A couple
the
times.
oven on.
Yeah. With matches in their hands. No, so because I do this, the podcast is my baby. At one point before I had this beautiful setup and I had other things going on, I had this big old PC that we worked off of, and we were having a really good episode. I lined it up. I typed everything out. Everything was good to go. And I drove all the way to work. I worked downtown. I was like, going right to Adam's house when I'm done. Got there, started setting up, and I was like, fuck. I didn't bring the power cord to the computer. And we rescheduled, 3 times?
No, it was just me and you, so we did it on
Your computer.
Skype. No, we did
Skype. Yeah.
Well, there was 2 times.
Oh my God,
one
that's
time
right.
we had to do it on my computer, and one time we had to.
So if you remember too, we did it on Skype, and then I was fucking around, and my foot hit the power cable, and then Zoom went out, and we lost the entire
I wanted
episode.
to murder you that day.
So the way Zoom works, when you're done, you hit end, it compresses an MP4 file for you, and my Tootsie was like, no, I want to play with the cord, and knocked the cord out of the computer, and I lost the entire episode. And that's after we had rescheduled for the next day because I was too dumb to bring the power cord for my computer.
Uh-huh. It was the cursed episode.
It was.
No one's going to talk about the fact that he just used the word Tootsie.
Yeah, he says stupid stuff like that all the time.
well,
have you heard how many times what do you say, silly goose all
Silly
the time?
goose.
Yeah.
Silly goose.
Tootsie, silly goose.
Yeah, Tootsie.
Jennifer, if you're a music person, Intergroove, he also said, do you remember? And we're
21st night of September.
We're a day beyond. Yes.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So
now I'm singing it in my head.
I was
Mike.
just gonna say you
Thank
can
you.
infuse that music, blend that music into.
Go for it right now.
No,
This is your
no one
opportunity.
wants to hear that.
Do you remember?
No one wants to hear that.
So we are at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And we had a blast with you guys. Thank you so much for taking time out to
thank
talk
you.
to us. It's
Thank
been
you.
phenomenal.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, we got to know what's on tap and where can you find us. And in this part of the show, we like to ask our guests to drop their social media. So let's start off with the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. Where can they find all the information about the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild?
They can find everything about Three Rivers Beer Week on 3, spell it out, THREE, 3riversbeerweek.com. And then everything about you can also go to pittsburghbreweries.com for everything on the brewery guide and all the custom trails.
Yeah. Dancing
And
Gnome.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
And let's do a specific shout out for First Pour.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What
Let's do-
date, time, where to get tickets?
First Pour is October 1st. You can get tickets on Eventbrite, but if you go to our either of our websites, any of our social accounts, you'll be able to get a link. But yeah, so go out and get tickets.
Because the Can with the Boys will be there. I'm telling you, I'm RSVPing for Matt.
And it's a fundraiser for the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild. So you should
go.
go support
Yeah, don't you
breweries.
care
I
about
think you should
Pittsburgh
support
beer?
them. Yeah.
Don't you care about it,
I
Matt?
do.
Yeah.
I do.
We'll see you there.
What about Dancing Gnome? Where can we find it?
DancingGnomeBeer.com and Dancing Gnome Beer on all the handles. And Andrew Witchy, the owner, does a great job of keeping people up to date. It's a really, he does a really good job of consistently keeping people up to date. Daily updates on who's there, like beer truck or food truck wise, what beers are being released and whatnot. And then if you're interested, you can sign up for the weekly newsletter and get all the info you need.
Wonderful. Jen, Intergroove.
intergroovebrewing.com. You'll get info on both locations in Verona and in Pittsburgh, Allentown. You can also go to either of our social channels at Intergroove Brewing. I'm also trying to do some crazy, stupid reels, which I really don't want to do, but Instagram's bitch. So
Do it. Do it.
So watch those because they're stupid. But we have a beer release every Friday. Food trucks, always posted on our website. Try to post them on our social channels. We do have an email as well, so you can sign up for that on our website. And yeah, come see us.
Wonderful. Adam, what's on tap? Where can you find us?
I got the Shat-Faced Pumpkin Roll Shat-Faced Pumpkin Roll
Try it
Stout. The Shat-Faced Pumpkin Roll Stout is on tap new this week. Aside from that, I have a West Coast IPA, a Hefeweizen, and what's the third one?
May I ask?
The jalapeno pineapple hazy IPA.
Yep.
So,
May I ask a question?
absolutely.
What is the hop profile in the West Coast IPA?
It is a lot of things, but it is Columbus,
Nice.
Citra, Simcoe, Centennial, and Cascade, I believe, is everything. But I can look it up when we get off.
I'm
and
there
give you
for
all
that.
of them, yeah. It's all the classics.
I'm there for
with
that.
some Citra. And then, just hit me up at @bash_brew on Instagram if you want to come over and try any of them. And visit Dancing Gnome and Intergroove because
Absolutely.
All three of the tap rooms are gorgeous and cool places to hang out.
They certainly are. So if you want to know what's going on with the boys down the Jojitorium, you're at DWTB on all social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also now on TikTok. Don't forget about Redbubble, where dad hats are always $19.52. And don't forget about our email, decayandwtb@gmail.com, where you can register to be a guest. So from the depths of Inner Groove in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, for where you are listening to this episode, go get your tickets for October 1st for the kickoff event. Because if you don't,
First pour.
we're going to find you.
Do the first pour. Matt will be there.
First pour.
Come drink with these guys
Yeah, it's fun.
and us.
Until next time, cheers.
Keep your tootsies warm.
We have some guys over in the UK that are friends of ours on the podcast. Could you look at the camera and say something?
Oh, shit, we got a camera here?
Would you like me to say your bomb is hot?
Yes, yeah. Would you like some tea and crumpets?
I
Hello.
realized we were on camera.